Hi, I'm Hayata Takashita, and today I'm sharing all the tips and tricks I learned while developing my very first roll of film at home. The results turned out great. Now I didn't just dive in, I did a lot of research, and this is everything I figured out. These tips are for every step of the process, which is quite a few, over 20 of them, so I did break them into 3 videos. The first video, this one, covers tips for loading the film onto the Patterson Reel and Tank. The second video covers managing your chemistry in a water bath. The third video finishes up with actual film development and post-processing on the computer. The links to each video are in the description. Now, this isn't a step-by-step tutorial. There are plenty of those out there already. Instead, this video is packed with only beginner-friendly tips and tricks. While the results turned out great, there is one issue I'm still working through. It is the strong blue color cast on the image. I don't know if this is from the development process or it is just a characteristic of the film. But I was able to fix it in post-processing, and I will show the process near the end of the list of tips. We first need to develop the film before we do any color correction. And a quick note before we begin. The film I worked with was Fuji Pro 400H 120 format film, so it is color film. And I developed it using Cinestill's color development kit. And I used the Patterson tank and reel. Keep in mind that different films and different development kits might involve different steps, especially when working with black and white film. Alright, let's get started. Loading your film onto a Patterson reel can be finicky, but with a little patience you can get it right. Tip 1. Practice first in the light. Before you even think about developing your reel film, practice loading a throwaway roll of film onto the reel. Practice in the light first, then practice with your eyes closed. This will help you build muscle memory and feel confident when it's time to do it in the dark. Tip 2. Preload a leader film. Here's a trick to make loading easier. As you probably know already, the film goes into these notches on the Patterson reel, but it can be really finicky to get it in there. So the tip is to take a piece of old, already developed film and preload that into the notches. This then acts as like a platform so that you can get the real roll of film loaded in there. The piece of film should be cut so it's kind of short, but you want it long enough so that it can act as that platform. Be sure to remove that piece of leader film because you don't want it to block the developer on the real piece of film. Tip 3. Use a blanket over a door to make it light-proof. I use my bathroom as a makeshift darkroom since it doesn't have any windows. To make it light-proof, I take the blanket over the door. The blanket fills in the gap between the door and the jamb. I also use some painter's tape because the blanket kept sliding around the door, so that helped hold it in place. The gap at the bottom of the door was pretty big, so I also used a towel to fill in that gap. Tip 4. Take off your smartwatch. Don't forget to take off your smartwatch or anything else that might emit light. Even small glows can ruin your film during this critical step. Tip 5. Give your eyes time to adjust to the darkness. I learned this the hard way. Give your eyes a minute to adjust before you start. I didn't, and I realized later there was a faint leak from the door. Luckily, it didn't ruin my film, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Tip 6. Remove that backing paper. This tip is for 120 film users. You'll need to remove the backing paper before loading the reel. It's held on with tape at the end, so feel for it in the dark. Make sure none of the paper or tape accidentally ends up in the reel. I unspooled the entire roll of film until I got to the tape near the end of the roll. This is done in the dark, so I had to feel my way to get to the tape. I have heard that you can start rolling the film onto the reel and remove the tape when you get to the end. You just have to make sure the paper is not pulled into the reel. Tip 7. Have the tank lid easily available. When working in the dark, keep the lid of your Patterson tank in a spot where you can easily find it. If something goes wrong, you can quickly place the film in the tank, seal it up, and turn on the lights to give yourself a chance to reset. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in the container and seal it. Turn the lights on, let's put the leader back in. Tip 8. Knowing when the reel is fully loaded. So, the film gets loaded on the reel after you get it started by twisting the reel. Now if you keep your thumbs on the notches, right, you'll feel the film slip under your thumbs as you twist the reel. And then when you stop feeling the film, you're done. And that's it for loading your film onto the Patterson Reel and Tank. It might seem tricky at first, but with these tips, I hope you'll feel a bit more confident going into your first roll. Remember, this is part 1 of a 3-video series. Next up, I'll share tips for managing your chemistry and preparing your water bath to get the temperature right. You'll find the link to that video, as well as the final video on film development and post-processing, in the description below. Before we go, I'd like to hear any questions or comments from people who are just like me, just getting started out. It'd also be great to hear from people who have been doing this for a while. Please leave your comments in the YouTube comments. Thanks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay up to date on this series and other fun photography projects. Thanks for watching and happy shooting.